It is my pleasure to present to you Gruen Von Behrens, a dear friend of ours who is 30 years old. He's an oral cancer survivor, and he has a message to share with you tonight.
Thank you, guys. How many of you in here know somebody who smokes cigarettes? Raise your hand. All right, put your hands down. How many of you in here may have had a cigarette before? Raise your hand. All right, put your hands down. How many of you in here know somebody who uses spit tobacco? Raise your hand. All right, put them back down. How many of you in here may have had a dip before? Raise your hand. All right, one more question, guys. How many of you in here know somebody who's been sick from tobacco use other than me? Raise your hand. All right, on that note, my name is Gruen Von Behrens. I'm the national spokesperson here today on behalf of Oral Health of America and InStep. InStep is the National Spit Tobacco Education Program. And with my job, I get to travel all over the United States and Canada to talk to kids about tobacco use, both smoking and dipping. Guys, I've been in 45 of the 50 states, every province in Canada, and I've spoken to over 1 million people across this country about this topic. I work with professional baseball, football, and rodeo athletes about their addiction with tobacco and the influence that they have on young people who sit at home and watch the news and stuff on TV. I've done TV shows for MTV, ESPN, numerous news commentaries all across this country. So a lot of very important people take what I have to say to heart about this topic. Now, first things are first, guys. I know I can be kind of hard to understand at times. I've had 34 surgeries to my mouth and my neck. Doctors have had to cut off half of my tongue to get rid of the cancer that I had. So not everything I'm going to say tonight is going to come out just the way I want it to. I apologize. But if you stay attentive and listen closely, I think you're going to get my message here tonight. And guys, nobody told me that I had to be here today. I didn't get in trouble back home in Illinois. And they were like, all right, for your punishment, you have to go out in public, show people your face, and tell them that tobacco did that to you. That's not the reason I'm here. I don't come here tonight as an authority figure, as a preacher, a teacher, a cop, as somebody who's going to tell another person that they're bad if they use tobacco. I used to use tobacco. If I were to tell somebody that they were a bad person just because of addiction to tobacco, that kind of make me a hypocrite, wouldn't it? And that I am not. I come here as a friend, so people can see this. For kids, especially kids, so they can make a fair decision with their life. And to let children know that the choices that they make when they're young can affect them for the rest of their life. I made the choice whenever I was 13 years old to put a dip of chew on my lip. I became addicted to it by the time I was 17, a junior in high school. I've been diagnosed with one of the most deadly diseases known to man. And it screwed up my entire life. Guys, I do this because I know in my heart that if somebody would have came to me before I got sick looking like this, and if they would have told me that tobacco had did that to them, I know I would have took a different path in my life. And I probably wouldn't be standing up here tonight giving you guys a presentation about how I lost my face due to tobacco use, because they either never would have started or would have stopped. Now, as I talk tonight, I'm going to mention spit tobacco a lot because that's what I used to use. But smoking is just as dangerous. Every time somebody takes a puff off of a cigarette, a pipe, or a cigar, all them bad things, all them carcinogens in that tobacco smoke hit you right here first. It burns the tissues in your oral cavity, and I know just as many people who look this way because they smoke. And as I talk tonight, I hope we can laugh a little bit. Some of the things I'm going to tell you tonight might make you cry. Some of the things I'm going to tell you tonight may scare you. But the odds of scaring you is what it takes to keep people from using these products. Then so be it. I'm going to try to scare the pants right off of you. I'm not an actor. This isn't a mask I wear. I can't take this off tonight whenever I go back to my hotel because I'm sick of people staring at me. Nobody made this story up. I'm not up here reading it to you. This story is my life. It comes from right here. I hope it touches you all in the same spot. I was 13 years old when I first started using spit tobacco. I can remember the first day I ever used it like it was yesterday. I went out camping one night with a bunch of my buddies, and one of my friends pulls out a can too. He said, "Hey, Von Behrens, you want a dip?" Oh, why not? Cancer wasn't going to happen to me. That happened to old people. It would take years before cancer was developed. At the age of 13, I wasn't really thinking about the long-term effects of the choices that I was making right then and there. See, at the age of 13, the only things that really mattered to me in life were baseball, food, and women, usually in that order. So I took a dip, and I liked it. I liked the way it tasted. I liked the way it made me feel. Tobacco was just a game at first. It was a game to see who put the biggest chew in our mouth, to see who could get the most juice out of one dip, to see who the tobacco would make get sick, make fun of that person for getting sick, and entice them to use more. Here, chew this. Now throw up. Here, chew more, you idiot. But little did I know that game I was playing would almost cost me my life at the age of 17. Halfway through my 16th year, halfway through my junior year of high school, I noticed a little white spot developing on the side of my tongue where I'd been rolling my dip in my lip. And anybody who uses a tobacco product knows that a white spot in your mouth is not uncommon. A canker sore, a fever blister, that leukoplakia that comes and goes with time. I thought this white spot was just going to go away like it had 100 times before. But this time that white spot didn't go away. And what started off the size of the tip of a pencil, over a 9-month period of time has grown to eat completely through my tongue. The cancer actually split my tongue in half. I can take the tip of my tongue, pull it over, and expose the whole tumor. There'd be nights I'd go into the bathroom after my family went to bed, and I'd look at my tongue in the mirror and I'd ask, I say, "God, why are you doing this to me?" I haven't been a bad kid. No worse than Mark or Phil, who are also doing these things at my age. Why is it happening to me? I'm scared. Please make this go away. My mom would say, "Gruen, what's the matter with you? Why do you slur your speech? Why do you drool on yourself when you talk? Why does the food fly out of your mouth at the dinner table?" I say, "Oh, Mom, it's no big deal. It's just my wisdom teeth coming in. Once they poke through, I'll be fine." People say, "Gruen, you idiot. Why didn't you tell your mom you were sick?" Guys, I was 17 years old, a junior in high school, and my tongue was split in half with cancer. By that time, I had a pretty idea of what I had going on inside my mouth. I also knew what them doctors were going to do to me to try to fix that. They were going to cut off half of my tongue. And the thought of what they were going to do to me during that procedure scared me to death. I was terrified. I was a healthy kid until this point in my life. Heck, the only shot I've ever had was that booster shot that they give you in order to get you into school, and I really didn't like it. I never had a cavity in my mouth. So just the idea of that doctor sticking that IV in my hand to put me to sleep to fix my tongue scared me. Let alone what they were going to do to me after they had me to sleep. I didn't tell anybody I was sick because in high school, I was a very good baseball player. I could play collegiate baseball at any university across the United States I wanted to play at. All I had to do was pick a college, sign that letter of intent, I was on my way. My high school baseball coach had a tobacco-free policy. If he would have found out that the reason I gotten sick was because I'd been dipping, he would have kicked me off the team that quick. It's kind of hard to play baseball in college if you're not even playing in high school, isn't it? Plus, guys, growing up, I didn't have a mom, or I didn't have a dad. My father split whenever I was a baby. I never met my dad. So if I had a problem with baseball, I'd go home and talk to my mom about it. If I had a problem with his girlfriend, I'd go home and talk to my mom about it. She was like my best friend. And the thought of telling that woman that I was sick with this disease because of a choice that I made to put that crap in my lip and hurt my mother that way, I wasn't man enough to do that. I couldn't hurt my mom. One Friday afternoon, my mom came to me and said, "Come on, girl, and let's go shopping." Well, the odds I'm worse than a woman when it comes to going shopping. I couldn't get in that car fast enough. And we're driving down the road, and my mom drove right past the mall. I'm thinking, what's the matter with you, woman? Right there was the mall. You losing your mind in your old age? My mom went 2 blocks further, and she pulled into my doctor's office. Pulled into a parking spot, shut the car off, and with a tear in her eyes, she looked at me and she said, "I'm sorry, Gruen. I didn't want to have to bring you here today." She said, "But you're slobbering all over yourself. You can't talk, you can't eat." She said, "I know you're hurting, son. So I made an appointment to have your wisdom teeth pulled today." And I'm like, oh no. I didn't want my mom to be there when I had to tell somebody I was sick. I didn't want my mom to see what was going on side by side. Guys, I didn't want to hurt my mother. So we got out of the car, and we walked into the doctor's office and sat down in the waiting room. And we probably sat in that waiting room for about 20 minutes. And the whole time I was sitting there, I was praying to God that my mom wasn't going to go in the back with me when they called me back. They called my name back, and here she comes, being the good mother that she is. And we sat down in that examination room for about 8 or 9 minutes before my doctor came in. My doctor walks into my room. He knew I was terrified of him. So he says about 5 words to me, picks up a gas mask, and here he comes at me to put me to sleep to fix what he thought was my wisdom teeth. And right before he strapped that mask onto my face, I grabbed his hand. I said, "Whoa, wait a second." He said, "What is it, Gruen?" I said, "Doc, this isn't my teeth." I said, "I think I've got cancer." He gave me a dumbfounded look like, "Yeah, right. How did this kid know that he has cancer?" He said, "Open your mouth." Guys, I opened my mouth, and after one glimpse of my tongue, he knew I was sick. And he nodded to my mother, who was sitting in the back of that room, that yes, Gruen's right, he has cancer. Until that day, I never seen my mother cry like that. It ripped her heart out. Not only did I hurt myself because I chose to use a tobacco product, but I devastated that woman. You know, people tell me every day, "Hey, Gruen, if somebody's using spit tobacco, they're not hurting anybody else but themselves." If that was not pain on my mother's face the day she found out I was sick, I don't know what it is. Now, of course, my mom was worried about me because, hey, she was my mom. As a good parent, she cared and she loved for her kids. But guys, my mom was also a nurse, worked in the operating room for 25 years of her life, and she had seen cases like these before. And my mom knew that the instant I was diagnosed with cancer, and because of where it was at, how bad it was going to mess up my face when they tried to fix it. My mom knew that the instant I was diagnosed with cancer, and because of what type of cancer it was, I had an 80% chance I was going to die from the get-go. 4 out of 5 people who are diagnosed with the same type of cancer die before they make it 5 years past their first surgery. People come up to me all the time and say, "Gruen, I didn't think oral cancer was that dangerous. And if I had it, I'd see it, and there'd be plenty of time to get rid of it." But what people don't realize is that cancer isn't always going to grow to where you can see it. It may start off as a microscopic cell on the backside of your mouth and grow inward. And take 1 second to think about how close is the inside of your mouth to your spine. How close is the inside of your mouth to your brain? If cancer gets into the bone or gets into a nerve and gets to one of those 2 areas, it's checkout time. Because doctors have a really hard time fixing it then. My mom knew that I would never play baseball again. Yeah, I've been diagnosed with cancer, but what's cancer to a 17-year-old kid? Yeah, I heard about it. but I've never seen this. I heard they were going to do surgeries and try to cut it out of me that could kill me. I had no idea of the battle that I was getting ready to undergo to beat this disease. They found my cancer on a Friday afternoon, and that following Thursday, 6 days later, I was 3.5 hours away from my house, having 13 hours worth of surgery. And for 13 hours, my family and my friends sat in a small 8x10 room and they worried about me. I mean, think about it, guys. 13 hours is a long time to have to worry about anything, isn't it? I wonder if Roland's okay. Gosh, he's been in there forever. What are they doing to him? What's he going to look like when he comes out of there? Is my son going to live? During that surgery, doctors cut off half of my tongue. They cut my neck from ear to ear and peeled the skin off of my neck and my lower jaw to look underneath the tissue to make sure cancer hadn't gotten into my lymph nodes and spread to other parts of my body. After surgery was over, I laid in the hospital for a month and a half with IVs in my arms. A tube that went through my nose, down my throat, into my stomach. That's how I ate. After that initial surgery, I had to undergo 33 more surgeries and hundreds of treatments to get rid of the cancer that I had and to fix my face from the damage that they'd done to it when they removed the tumor. Treatments which involved radiation treatments. Radiation treatments were one of the most god-awful things I've ever had to go through in my life. Those treatments burnt my face so bad that if I would scratch my teeth, my skin would actually peel off under my fingernails. The inside of my mouth was all white and blistered. Guys, it hurt me to take a drink of water. That little bit of chlorine that they put in water to help purify it set my mouth on fire. I went from 190 pounds before radiation to 130 pounds when they got me done. I was starving because I couldn't put anything in my mouth to eat it. And for a year, after radiation was over, I couldn't drink a Coke. I couldn't put ketchup on my French fries. The acids in them two things lit me up. Imagine for 1 second eating the hottest, spiciest salsa you can imagine. The kind that when you take a bite of it, your eyes start watering, your nose starts running, your forehead beads up with sweat. You look kind of stupid trying to make yourself eat this stuff. Well, that's what it felt like for me after radiation if I took a drink of a Coke, or if I put ketchup in my mouth. After radiation got over, a couple of years went by, everything was fine, no worries, no problems. So I started going to college with the idea that my battle with cancer was over. But as my battle with cancer had only just begun. Not even 2 years went by past my first surgery, and all my teeth had rotted away in my face. See, guys, the radiation that they had given me to kill my cancer and save my life did that. But they had to shoot those beams of radiation through my healthy tissue to get to my tumor. And it killed the skin, the bone, and the teeth on both sides of my face. So at the age of 19, I had to have all my teeth pulled. I was 19 years old, a sophomore in college. Those are supposed to be the best years of my life, right? Well, I was 19 years old, a sophomore in college, but I had dentures. And I talked weird and I looked different. Do you think people wanted to know who I was anymore? I'd gone from the person that people looked up to the person that people looked at, talked about, whispered about as I walked by. You know, people ask me every day, what was the hardest part about all these surgeries? Besides that, the part that I had to go back in public and let people see this, the stares, the pointing fingers, the little kids who ask, Mommy, Mommy, what happened to him? To overcome that in today's society was one of the toughest achievements I had to do, the toughest mountain that I had to climb. Because today's society is so stuck on the way you look and the way you dress, whether your teeth are lined up or your hair's the right way or whether you have a good tan. Whenever somebody walks through the same society looking like this, there's all kinds of ridicule. After they pulled my teeth, my jawbone couldn't heal itself from the trauma that they just did. So 2 years later, doctors had to go back into my face and they removed 2 inches of bone from this side of my face because it was like mush. Took it out and they threw it away. And they took a bone and a muscle out of my shoulder, my scapula, and brought it up here and hooked it into my face for a new jawbone. It was great when they got it done. You could hardly tell anything ever happened to me. Realized my body rejected that bone being there. I got a really bad infection that went crazy all throughout my body. My kidneys shut down. I came this close to dying. So 2 days later, after one 18-hour surgery, doctors rushed me back into the operating room for another 18-hour surgery, and they had everything on my face that they just put in it 2 days prior, and they threw it away. And they cut my pectoral muscle out of my chest, tunneled it through my neck, and hooked it into the floor of my mouth for a healthy blood supply and good tissue that they could work with. After that surgery, I laid in the hospital for 2 months. Once again, with IVs in my arms. I got a tube in my nose, a tracheotomy in my throat so I could breathe. I was so sick after that surgery that they could not replace the bone in my face. So for 2 years, I walked around with a broken face. My chin tucked over to the side, bones hit however they wanted to hit when I would talk or eat. 5 years ago, my doctor said, "Come on, Gruen, we're going to fix you up right now. We're going to make you look like a normal guy again." So he went into my face and he took out the remainder of my jawbone from ear to ear. Took the whole mandible out and he got rid of it. And he took my fibula out of my leg. The bone that goes from your knee to your ankle with that piece of tissue you see right there. Took the whole bone out, broke it in segments so he could bend it, and he hooked that bone back into my face for a new jawbone. At the same time he had my leg open and my face open, taking the old bone out and putting the new one back in on this leg. Now I'm not going to pull my pants down for you, but from my hip to my knee, from side to side, he took all 3 layers of skin off of my side, all the way down to the muscle, and brought this big piece of tissue up here, and he hooked it onto my neck for a healthy piece of tissue and a good blood supply that he could work with. So now he's got a big hole in my leg, right? You gotta cover it up with something. So he took the top layer of skin off of every side of my leg that he had not cut yet, brought it over here, stacked it on top of this muscle, put a tag and bandage around it, and that's how it healed. That surgery alone took 20 hours to do. And afterwards, I laid in the hospital once again for over a month. And guys, the pain that you have when they do something like that to your body is out of this world. Imagine for 1 second taking a candle and holding your hand over that candle where the flame just barely lifts the palm of your hand. Naturally, you're going to try to pull your hand away, right? But for some reason, this time you can't. And you look at it, you wonder why you can't pull it away instead of the palm of your hand is starting to blister around that flame. So you start to freak out, you try to pull away again, but you still can't. And you look at it again, instead of the flame, it's going to eat a hole in the palm of your hand. Take that thought and multiply it by 50, by 100, by 200. And that's the way my legs felt as I laid in that hospital bed after that surgery. And I stand up here before you tonight waiting on yet another surgery. Doctors are still trying to put my face back together again, so I don't have to face the ridicule I face every day whenever I go out in public because of the way I look. I stand up here and I tell people about all those surgeries and all those treatments that I've had to go through because tobacco did this to me. I got a panel of doctors and lawyers 50 strong that will fight till they're blue in the face to prove that point. And I talk about spit tobacco, like I said earlier, because that's what I used to use, but smoking is just as dangerous. Every time somebody takes a puff off of a cigarette, a pipe, or a cigar, all them bad things, all them carcinogens that are in that tobacco smoke hit you right here first. I know just as many people who look this way because they smoke. And looking this way is not fun. Take my word for it. Everywhere I go, everything I do, people stare at me, point at me, talk about me as I walk by. I can bet you $1,000 right now that if we all piled in a vehicle and went to a Walmart tonight, somewhere in God's country America, and if I walked through those aisles of Walmart for long enough, that I'd eventually walk past a mother and her little boy. And that little boy would see my face as I passed by him in the aisle. It was startling. And he'd run over to his mom and grab her pant leg at the top of his lungs. He'd say, Mommy, Mommy, why does he look that way? Why does he have a funny face? Why does he look like a monster? But I was a monster. I'm really quite a nice guy once you get to know me. And if I have the time, I'll stop and explain to that little kid that the reason I look the way I do is, of course, because I've been sick. But I was looking the way I do and going through what I've been through for the past 13 years of my life has taught me so much about the important things of life. So much about the things I'm actually kind of embarrassed to say. It took a tragedy like this to make me realize these things as being important. And it taught me not to use tobacco, but it taught me other things that go much deeper than that. It taught me that you can't judge a book by its cover. That you can't judge people by what they look like on the outside alone. But the person you really need to get to know is the people that they are right here. For you kids in here, I know how hard it is to grow up in today's society, and as an adult, it's just as tough. Because every day of our life, we're ridiculed if we don't look up to par with what everybody else thinks is right. Schools today are nasty. I work in that environment every day. I know that if you're not the hottest guy or the cutest chick, if you have any abnormality whatsoever, whether it be your hair, your ears, your nose, or your rear end, if you have any difference at all, people are going to find that difference, and they're going to write it and write it and write it and write it to the point where it's not even fun to get out of bed to go to school the next day because you're afraid of what people could say next. I found out what it was like on both sides of the fence in that world. Back whenever I was younger, whenever I was in junior high and high school, before doctors had done all these surgeries and torn my face apart, I hate to toot my own horn, but hey guys, that's pretty hot. I'm 5'10", I weigh 190 pounds, I was ripped. The women kind of like that sort of stuff, guys. I was a very good athlete, very good academically, one of the most popular kids in my school. I can remember walking through the halls of my high school and hearing the younger kids say, man, I wish I could hit a baseball like Gruen someday. I never had a problem getting a date on a Friday or a Saturday night. Life was easy back then. I had by the palm of my hand. People just accepted me, no questions asked. But then, I had to jump to the other side of the fence in that same world. I got to feel how cruel and mean people could be to you if there was something different about you. I can remember the first day my mom brought me home from the hospital after my first surgery. My mom got me out of the car, she helped me into the house, and she laid me down on the couch. And there I lay, watching TV, thankful that I was finally home from that stupid hospital. As I lay there for a while, flipping through the channels, nature called. I had to go to the bathroom. So I got off the couch, walked down the hall, walked into the bathroom, I flipped on the light, and there was a mirror on that wall. And I hated that mirror. Because for the first time I had to look at this. I had to see what them doctors had done to me. I can remember thinking to myself, God, girl, this sucks. People aren't going to like you anymore because of the way you look. People aren't going to be a chance anymore because now you're the weirdo. You're the freak. So I shut the bathroom light off. I went laid back down on the couch. I was depressed, ready to give up. Thinking that the only reason why people liked me was because I was a good-looking guy. And after they'd taken that away, I didn't think anybody was ever going to be a chance again. But come to find out, guys, my looks weren't the only reason why people liked me. People liked me because I was true. What you saw is what you got. I wasn't out there trying to impress people and make them like me. I wasn't picking on people and make their day bad so mine would be better. I didn't have to tell Sally that she had a big butt. Sally knew her butt was big. I didn't have to tell that girl that. I was going to beat up on Billy because he was smaller than me. I knew I could do so. I was myself. And if you don't like me for who I was and what I stood for right here, the heck with you. I didn't want to know you anyway. And guys, because I had that personality and that mentality, when I was laying on that couch ready to give up, thinking that nobody was going to like me because of the way I looked, my friends came over. And they got me up and they took me to a ball game or to a party or out hunting, and they showed me that they didn't care about this. They loved me for who I was right here. I express that point to kids every day. I tell kids to be their own people, to be themselves. If they're not their own people, that's whenever they get these addictions and these other things in their life start to develop, trying to fit in with different crowds. And a lot of the times, kids will use these addictions, like spit tobacco or smoking, as the gateway drugs to other chemical products, other methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin. Most people who use these products are a nicotine addict. It's the gateway drug to all other products. I tell people that life is so good to appreciate every day of their life. I tell people that people worry about too much every day. Petty things. People don't appreciate life. They don't realize how good life is until something like this happens to them. People take so much for granted every day. People ask me all the time, they say, Gruen, how in the world do you do what you do? They say your face is a mess, you talk like you got a pair of socks blooded up in your mouth, and you get up in front of a group of people and you give a presentation. How do you do that? I'm going to tell you guys, and I tell them people every day, that if you don't remember anything else about me today, please remember this. That no matter how bad it gets for you, that no matter how bad of a hand you think God has dealt you with your life, somebody else is always a lot worse off than you. Guys, I don't like what I've been through. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you and tell you I do. I hate the way my face looks and the way my voice sounds, and I cringe at the thought of having to have another surgery. But I don't feel sorry for myself because of this. I don't try to live an alternate lifestyle because of what I've been through. I'm so thankful for the blessings and the gifts that God has given me with my life. For the life that I still get to live every day. Because you know what? There's somebody out there right now who would die to have my life. My best friend back at home sits in a wheelchair. Brad has sat in that wheelchair for the past 21 years of his life because of a car accident that he had on his way to work one morning. Nobody's fault, it was an accident. But because of that accident, everywhere Brad goes, he pushes himself. He's never going to walk again, guys. He knows that. Do you think you ever hear Brad complain? You think you ever hear him feeling sorry for himself because he's sitting in that chair? And he would get mad at you if you pitied him for being in that chair. But guys, Brad is my best friend in the whole world. And we talk about things with one another, we don't talk about with everybody else. And I know that Brad would give his whole life, everything that is dear and sacred to him in his life, to be able to do this. One time. This. I'm going to get done talking tonight. You guys better leave, so you're going to go home or go your separate ways. You're going to stand up, you're going to walk out of this room. And it won't even register up here how lucky you are that you're doing this. That you have your normal faces. That you have your health. That maybe you'll be lucky enough in life that you won't have to go through what I've been through. Or what Brad's been through. So my point here is to appreciate the good things in your lives. We as human beings get so wrapped up in all the negativity that takes place around us that we don't take the time to appreciate how lucky we really are. And I hear people complaining about petty things every day. Petty things. Oh, my hair wouldn't lay down right this morning. My teeth aren't white enough. That zit hasn't went away for the past 2 weeks. Or my butt was huge in these blue jeans. How will I ever make it through the day? Guys, there's a lot worse things in this life than the size of your rear end. So appreciate the good and don't dwell so much on the bad. One more important lesson that this has all taught me, and this is great for the kids in here, but for the parents in here as well, is how important family is. How important my mom was. Whenever I was in junior high and high school, I was all about my buddies. All about my friends and my girlfriend. I was too cool to hang out with my mom. I had kept my mom on the back burner until I needed something. Hey Mom, I need a new pair of baseball cleats. Will you buy me a pair? Hey Mom, I need $50 so I can go out this weekend. Can I borrow some money? And then I went and laid in the hospital for over a month. You think my buddies were there every day? I say one person that was, and that was my mother. That woman stood beside my bed, she held my hand, and she cried every tear with me. She assured me that people would still love me for who I was right here. My mom fought with nurses because she didn't think I was getting the proper health care. Guys, my mom had to help me go to the bathroom because I wasn't strong enough to do it by myself. I don't know if I would have made it through what I've been through without my mother. So for you kids in here, be nice to your folks. I know sometimes it feels like your parents are being so hard on you and you get so sick of listening to them, you just want them to shut up. I know as parents you can get frustrated with your kids just as easily, but the only reason why you're so hard on your kids is because you love them and because you want the best for them in this life and you're not going to settle for anything less. Some of you kids in here were laying in bed this morning and you had the covers all pulled up nice and tight around your neck. Laying there in the dark, having an awesome dream. And your mom or your dad came into your bedroom, flipped on the light and said, "Get up, time to go to school." And what did you do? You pulled the covers over your head and said, "Guys, get out of here. Leave me alone, I hate you. Why are you so mean to me?" And maybe last night after dinner, you guys had an argument about something they didn't quite see eye to eye on. So you stood up from the dinner table, you stomped down the hall, you slammed your bedroom door, you said, "I can't wait till I'm 18 so I can get the heck out of here." What happens if your parents have a car accident tonight on their way home from work? Or on their way to work in the morning and it kills them? It can happen that quick. You don't remember the last time that you talked to your mom or your dad, you were fighting with them because you didn't have bed to go to school this morning? I remember the last time you talked to your mom or your dad was on your way out of the house, and right before you walked through that door, you took the time to look back at them and say, "Thanks, Mom and Dad. I love you. I appreciate all you do for me." Guys, be nice to your folks, because let me tell you what. When it feels like the whole world is caving in on you and you don't have any place else you can turn, 99 times out of 100, your parents will be there for you no matter what. It's unconditional love. It's one of the most beautiful things in this world. So don't take advantage of that. And tell your parents that you love them too, because guess what, guys? They like to hear it just as much as we do. Tobacco is a deadly addictive drug. Nicotine is actually more addictive than cocaine and heroin combined. So in order for a company to manufacture and sell a product like this, they manipulate kids into buying this stuff. They don't have to sell tobacco to a 35-year-old tobacco addict. They know that person will come back and buy these products no matter what because of the addiction that they have to that substance. Do you see people who sell drugs having to advertise themselves? When was the last time you were driving down the interstate and you see a billboard that said, "Buy your next bag of cocaine at exit 69"? When was the last time you were driving by the gas station uptown and you seen "Buy one joint, get the other one for free"? Drug dealers don't have to advertise themselves because they know their clients will come back and buy it no matter what because of the addiction that they have to that substance. That is the same thing tobacco industries do every day. They don't sell it to the addicts, they sell it to the youth of America. And the ways that they sell it to them are sick and wrong. And guess what, guys? Each and every one of you in here has been a victim of tobacco sales since you were 3 and 4 and 5 years old. You just didn't know it. How many of you in here know what Big League Chew bubblegum is? Big League Chew bubblegum? Can be cigarettes. Those little cigarettes that taste like peppermint, have a little red tip. I bet you didn't know those two products are put on the shelf by tobacco industries. No, they don't say Copenhagen or Skoal on them. They don't say Marlboro or Salem. But the tobacco industry provides these candy companies with X amount of money every year to make sure that these products are manufactured and put on the shelf for kids to buy, I quote, when they're 3 and 4 and 5 years old. As a society, the tobacco industry starts in us when we're babies. So we get this image in our head that tobacco is a socially accepted right thing to do. So it comes time for these 5-year-old kids to grow up to be 12 and 13 and 14 years old and want to start to experiment with real tobacco. We're going to say, "Hey, why not? I look cool with a candy. How cool will I look if I light up a real cigarette? How cool will I be if I put a real dip of chew on my lip? And then I ask you this. How cool does this look?" And when have you ever seen a picture of my face next to a can of Copenhagen in a magazine? Tobacco industry said they wouldn't be truthful. So you guys, everything there is to know about what tobacco can do to you, but when have they ever showed you this? This is the face of tobacco. There is no good end effect from tobacco use. If you use it, it will make you sick in some way, shape, or form. I've been talking now for about 45 minutes. And in the past 45 minutes during my presentation, 36 people have died in the United States due to a tobacco-related illness. So we're sitting here having fun. 36 people just passed away because they cannot kick their tobacco habit. You know, I believe a lot of what we learn in our lifetime comes from mistakes we made as we were growing up. I've made this mistake for the American public. I want people to take a good long hard look at my face, to listen to the way my voice sounds coming out of these speakers, and I hope that image sticks somewhere in the back of your head. And whenever it comes your time to light up a cigarette, or your time to talk to somebody about the spit tobacco addiction that they have, I hope this message I brought you tonight makes you a lot smarter what big tobacco and tobacco industry can do to you, and to the friends and to the people in your community who use these products. I hope you make the right choice about tobacco. Because God knows, I wish I would. Thank you. Thank you, guys. At the end of my presentations, I always like to open up the floor for questions or comments. Something more you'd like to know about me, something more you'd like to know about the tobacco industry. If you have a question or a comment, raise your hand. I'll try to answer it the best way I can. Nobody has a question, huh? Everybody forgot to put their deodorant a little bit like, didn't they? Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you. I hope that sticks with everybody.
I hope so too. Anybody else have a question? Popular question I get asked every day is, Gruen, how do you eat? They say your face is a mess, you have no teeth, how do you eat? I know people I eat the same way you do. I take a hamburger, I take a bite of it, I chew it up, I swallow it, it usually comes out in 2 to 3 days. I have a very normal diet. Another popular question I get asked every day is if I have a girlfriend or not. They say, Gruen, your face looks like that, what woman in her right mind would want anything to do with you? I love talking about my girlfriend in my presentations. And whenever I say the word girlfriend, people get this image in their head, this woman that's 3 foot tall, 3 foot around, has no teeth. But Sarah is beautiful. She's 5'10", she's got brown hair, green eyes, waist about that big around. I mean, guys, she's perfect. And the reason why I like to talk about Sarah in my presentations is because Sarah is beautiful on the outside. If she was walking through this room right now, I've been with this woman for almost 7 years, and it would still take my breath away because I feel so lucky to be with her, and that's how pretty of a woman she is. But as the person Sarah is right here, outweighs who she is up here 10,000 times over. I actually feel kind of embarrassed being with this girl sometimes. And we'll walk hand in hand, and we'll go to a mall or to a movie or out to eat, and I can see people staring at us. I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, my gosh, what in the world is she doing with that guy? And I asked her, I said, babe, why would you want this for yourself? I said, you're beautiful. You can have any guy you want. Why would you want me? I said, I know that guy's good looking, and he's good looking. And that guy over there, he's so hot, he kind of turns me on. Why would you want me? And she says, Gruen, because I love you here. Whenever I talk to you about being your own people and let your true inside shine through, I'm just not blowing hot air at you. If you take the time to make sure that you're a good person, that you treat others just the way that you wish that they would treat you, who you are takes you a lot further than what you are ever will. Sarah and I got engaged to be married 2 years ago December, and we had a baby girl February 23rd this past year. Any dentists in here tonight? Dentists? Look in your patients' mouths. Make sure that you pick things up and look around. Talk with the people who are addicted to these products and make sure that you have a good relationship so they know that they can talk to you and come to you. I was absolutely terrified, guys. I was scared to death about what was going on inside my mouth. My mom was a nurse. She told me the stories about the surgeries that they've done at the hospital, and that terrified me to go in there and have one of those done. Absolutely scared me to death. Go ahead.
What is your feelings on how bad alcohol is and how addictive and damaging it is also?
Alcohol can be just as harmful as smoking or dipping. Every time somebody takes a drink of booze and it goes through your system, it makes the blood vessels in the inside of your mouth shrink up. The alcoholism, the addictive substances like that, it's very dangerous. It's something that people need help if you're going to fight that addiction. I'm not going to tell anybody who's addicted to any substance that they're a bad person. There's a lot of good cocaine addicts out there. There's a lot of good heroin addicts. Their problem is that they've got onto a substance, and that substance controls their life to a point where their true self cannot shine through because they're so addicted to that product. Addiction is one of the hardest, worst things you'll ever have to go through in your life. I've been off of tobacco for 13 years now. 13 years. Last year I got out of my truck. I love to bow hunt. I bow hunt whitetails passionately. Got out of my truck, put on my hunting clothes, grabbed my bow, and I started walking across the field to get my tree stand. About halfway across that field, something in the back of my head said, man, wouldn't a dip of Copenhagen taste nice right now? 13 years later, millions of dollars of surgeries, all the hell I've been through, and something in the back of my head still said, hey, what about a dip of Copenhagen? Once somebody's an addict, I have a hard belief that addiction ever goes away. It's always going to be there. You just have to make sure that you as a person is a lot stronger than what that addiction is. I'm lucky that I'm strong enough that I haven't put anything in my mouth. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead. You're welcome. God bless you too. Anybody else have a question?
Did you ever have any prevention programs as a child?
No. Guys, this is part of my culture. Spit tobacco is part of my culture. I come from a town in Illinois of 750 people. That's counting farm animals and small dogs. It's a very rural area. And in that area, it was part of my culture growing up to use tobacco products. My grandfather used to spit tobacco. My uncle used to spit tobacco. Why would my grandfather offer me something that was going to hurt me? Why would he give me a substance that could do this to me? So I was very naive to what tobacco could do to me. I had no idea. At the local gas station, there was a spittoon in the middle of the floor. The old guys would come in, drink their coffee in the morning, spit tobacco juice in the spittoon as they told stories. It was just a very much part of my culture. Nobody ever educated. Yeah, the can said, could be a cause of cancer, could cause cancer. But what's cancer to a little kid? Most kids think cancer is something that's not going to happen to them for years and years, maybe never happen to them. So I was very naive to this. I believe that if somebody would have came to me whenever I was 13 years old and showed me this, I wouldn't be standing here right now. Because I would have quit using tobacco, I would have went on with my life and been a very successful person in other things. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead.
Have the tobacco companies ever talked to you about you speaking?
No. I wish they would. I'd love to go head-to-head publicly with the tobacco industry because there's not a lie that they can say to my face that would make them look better, to make their company look good. They're so sly and tricky about the ways that they market these products. They try to make themselves sound so good when they're really not. They really manipulate people into using this product so they can line their pocket with money. They don't care about us. They don't care about the people who get sick. All they want is that all holy dollar put in their pocket. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead. They have wonderful drugs out there right now. They have wonderful nicotine replacement therapies, Champix, very, very good drug, a very high success rate. If somebody's using more than like a pack, smoking 20 cigarettes a day, or using a half to 3/4 of a 10 a day, they're going to need these other drugs, the Champix, the Wellbutrin, these things that help their mind to get off of it, because they're so addicted that if they put a nicotine patch on or lozenge in their mouth, that's not going to cut it. Every dip of Copenhagen that somebody puts in their lip has 15 milligrams of nicotine. A cigarette by law has 4 to 5 milligrams of nicotine. One patch has 21 milligrams of nicotine. That's supposed to last you all day. That's the highest dose patch you can get. So that's why it's so hard for somebody to throw a patch on and think that they're going to beat this addiction, especially if you're a pack a day or a 10 a day user, because the addiction and the nicotine dependence that their body has made is so high that 21 milligram patch isn't going to cut it. And it takes like 10 hours. I mean, you put a patch on it, it takes like 10 hours before that nicotine level actually peaks. So for 10 hours, most of the time during the whole day, you're not really getting that much nicotine because it's a very low dose until it does peak. And by that time, you have to take it off because you can't sleep with them because they give you nightmares. I mean, addiction is a very, especially the spit tobacco, is a very tough thing to get over, because whenever you're addicted to spit tobacco, it becomes a part of your everyday life. Everything that you do throughout the day has to revolve around that can of soup or that pack of cigarettes. Whenever I was hunting and fishing before I got sick, if I go fishing, I have a dip in. If I go hunting, I have a dip in. If I was riding in a tractor, I'd have a dip in. If I was standing with a bunch of my buddies uptown after school, I have a dip in. It was such a part of my everyday life, and that's why it's so hard to stop, because it becomes a part of you. And to give up a part of you, anybody in here knows it's very hard to do. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead. My friends did offer me this tobacco, but you know what? None of my friends who I was sitting around that campfire with that night use tobacco anymore after they've seen what I went through. I have one friend of mine, he's 6'1", his name's Mark. I have another buddy of mine, he's 6'2", his name's Philip. These guys weigh about 250 pounds apiece. They're big, burly rednecks. Nothing bothers these guys. I've seen them eat a possum and ask for seconds. But the guy 6'1" Mark came into my room the day after my first surgery. He made it about halfway across my room. He had a glimpse of me, and he started feeling all wheezy. They had to sit him down, bring him orange juice, and put his head in between his knees so he did not pass out at the side of me. Well, wuss. And my other buddy, 6'2" Philip, he came into my room the very next day. And I've never heard Philip say anything about God unless it was in a curse word. I've never seen Philip cry. Philip came to the foot of my bed. She massaged my foot, and she prayed and sobbed out loud that that was not going to happen to him and that I would get better. What you guys see right now looks strange and different, but if you had the opportunity to see me whenever I'm fresh out of a surgery, when my head's the size of a basketball and I got tubes and drains stuck all in my body, if that's not enough incentive to get somebody to quit using tobacco, I don't know what is. And they thank me every day that they see me for the fact that they got to watch me go through this and that they do not get sick from the same product that I use. Anybody else have a question? Alright guys, I really thank you for your attendance tonight. I really hope this message I brought you makes you a lot smarter on what big tobacco industry and what tobacco can do to you. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for coming out.